Another shotgun? In my destiny? Well, I never. Presenting the Riiswalker, a lightweight kinetic shotgun that's come with Iron Banner for Season of the Splicer. It looks good, has a great perk pool, and generally makes you a very zoomy boy. Should you go get it? 2 weeks ago I would have said no, mainly because it was being a very naughty boy, not dropping properly from Iron Banner engrams like it should do. But even if it did drop properly, it does now thanks to a patch, I still would have said no. However, in a post-hotfix world where stasis requires you to actually think to use it well, the Riiswalker might just be the default pick if you don't want to run an Astral Horizon. Let's talk about it. As a reviewer, you want to go through the good and the bad in equal measure. On this channel specifically, we like to temper hype and expectation and go straight for the middle. It's not sexy, it doesn't lead to huge views or influence, and we don't really have a whole lot of red arrows lying about in the studio. But it's the line the silent majority walks, and even if it's not said explicitly, it tends to be appreciated nonetheless. So I have to start this review with an apology, because I can't be neutral today. I think the Riiswalker is f***ing fantastic, and it continues the trend of Season of the Splicer's weapons being absolute bangers. Let's begin. The Riiswalker is a kinetic, lightweight, legendary shotgun. It is a reward from the new seasonal quest from Lord Saladin in the Iron Banner, and it drops randomly from Iron Banner engrams from using your tokens shortly afterwards. As a lightweight frame, it allows you to move faster across the map when you have it drawn. This is vital for its main downside. As a lightweight frame, its consistent one-hit kill range hovers around that 7 to 8 meter mark compared to aggressive frames 8 to 9 meters. But honestly, that's okay, because the extra fire rate makes cleanups very viable provided you have the ammo to do so. With the introduction of Riiswalker, the kinetic slot finally has a non-sunset option for those who love the mobility benefits of running a lightweight shotgun. Ever since Parcel of Stardust and Hawthorne's Field Forged shotgun got sunset, there was only really a handful of options for this slot. Chaperone was the closest thing to a lightweight that we had, but the Roadborne perk that turns it into a mobility monster required a kill first. In terms of perks, we have quite the selection. Obviously, all your barrel perks are here, and of course, Full Choke remains the best barrel perk due to its tighter pellet spread when ADS'd. Our standard magazine perks are also here. Tactical Mag, Accurized Rounds, and Light Mag are all present, and so too is Assault Mag, which boosts the rate of fire to a very handy 90 RPM. In Column 3, Quick Draw, Firmly Planted, and Hipfire Grip stand out as the desired picks, whilst in Column 4, there's literally no bad selection for any of your use cases. Except Unrelenting. We don't like Unrelenting. We just have to tolerate it. The role everyone was raving about in the first week of Iron Banner was Rifle Barrel, Accurized Rounds, Quick Draw, and Iron Reach. A first for any shotgun in the game. Paired with a range masterwork, the range stat shoots all the way up to 96. 96. I wasn't fortunate enough to get it the first time Iron Banner came around, but according to some members of my community who do have this role, the pellets can hit max damage of up to 10 meters. But of course, the range cone still has the cap in place at 8 meters, so the pellets are more spaced out, and RNG will decide how effective you are with shots at that distance. That being said, what that extra range does do is make it feel very consistent, which in the lovely world of shotguns and their RNG nature is a massive win. By the way, said community can be found at discord.gg/Ascendant Nomad. We're starting up friendly scrims again soon on all platforms, so get yourself there. Link in the description below the like button. My personal role is Full Choke, Tactical Mag, Slideaways, and Swashbuckler, with a Stability Masterwork. Not exactly what you would call ideal at just 50 range, but let me tell you this, it feels incredible regardless. I think the perk that's doing the heaviest lifting of them all is Full Choke. My gun did roll with Rifle Barrel as well, but with the middling range as is, I'd rather the tighter spread than a longer cone. Full Choke on this weapon gives me the confidence to just run up and slay folks, even if I am a little out of range. The lightweight frame really invites you to rush forward, and when you're throwing a little more caution to the wind, it's important to be able to not only rely on your wits, but to rely on the tools as well. For me, this role was perfectly serviceable in all sorts of activities, provided I snorted the right amount of advanced GG prior to becoming one with the ape. Normally, this should be a foregone conclusion. Riiswalker is a lightweight, they do less damage and have less range than their aggressives. Case closed. Not so fast. When I was testing this live over at Twitch, I found myself enjoying this gun more than Felwinter's or Astral. Not just for the mobility benefits, but for the handling and overall stat package. I think it has the better perk pool too for the experiences it provides, and I'll personally be chasing that Iron Reach roll for the consistency that it offers. You see, something you're probably seeing more and more of is people drawing their shotgun out from what seems like 25 miles away. Turns out, the quick draw nerf did nothing to curb the lethality of the best shotguns in the game, and people are choosing instead to draw the shotgun early instead of playing reliably with surplus, on account of their bad habits with ability spam. That being said, even the best among us can't guarantee consistency with surplus, hence why both Astral and Felwinter's both feel significantly worse in their post-quick draw state. And I'm not okay with that. Like many players, I'm someone who likes consistency that I can rely on. Lightweights could be the low-stress answer to that moving forward in a meta that seems a whole lot less stasis-filled. Aggressives are still top of the food chain, don't get me wrong, but other lightweight additions like the 7th Seraph CQC have shown that second best is still plenty good enough, and comes with some lovely perks too. The direct slot competitors are Toil and Trouble, Astral Horizon, Blasphemer, and Chaperone. 2 of these are slug shotguns, so they can't be compared on anything other than feel and aesthetic. Toil and Trouble and Astral aren't even the same archetype as Riiswalker, which means that as of Season of the Splicer, counting only non-sunset options, the Riiswalker is officially in a class of 1. So the question then becomes, why would you run a Riiswalker instead of an Astral or a Toil? Well, that's easy, for the different experience with the specifics we mentioned before. Why run it over a 7th Seraph CQC, which is also lightweight and also rolls with some incredible perk combinations? Easy. You can pair it with the best 120 RPM hand cannon in the game, the Adept Igneous Hammer. Or the bottom dollar with opening shot or explosive payload. See, second best is still way better than the rest, you know? Basically, any energy weapon worth their salt is worth pairing with the Riiswalker. For PvE content, it might actually be really nice to run a distance elemental option to strip shields, and then run in close with the Reis to finish. But for PvP content, I think running the Reis makes a lot of sense given the choices at our disposal right now. Igneous, bottom dollar, palindrome, and even some cheeky grid skipper action is all possible when paired with the Riiswalker. Hell, even Sunshot could become relevant again if you want to bring back the halcyon days of 150 RPM hand cannons and zoomy boys. But perhaps the most compelling reason to run Riiswalker is the perk selection and diversity, especially the experience of what Iron Reach promises. Felwinter's Lie is still best in slot by some margin due to shot package and opening shot, but Astral Horizon requires a particular role to be useful. And Toil and Trouble is Toil and Trouble. Which means Riiswalker is a very serious contender for the best in slot title for shotguns in the kinetic slot. If you get one with Assault Mag and Iron Reach, you've got a 90 RPM shotgun with a consistent range of 7 to 8 meters. That's really wild. One final time. Yes, it's a lightweight frame. Yes, they're second best when it comes to pure output. But they're still very good, and if you can adjust your playstyle to them, and remember to get just a wee bit closer before pulling the trigger, you'll be pleasantly surprised with the outcome. I said that if I had reviewed this weapon 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have recommended it. This was largely due to the one thing stopping most shotguns: stasis. With Felwinter's and Astral, the damage profile and the added range gave a little bit more safety to the user. You didn't really need to be in anyone's face if you could reliably hit that 8 meter mark and safely clean up from a few extra meters out. But with Reis, there was no guarantee of safety in an aggressive ability meta with shurikens, penumbral blasts, and cold snaps with better tracking than Instagram when my girlfriend says she wants a moissanite engagement ring. But now with stasis heavily nerfed, shotgunning just became a lot safer. Regardless of meta, shotguns were always going to be a top tier pick because current map design favors the use of shotguns more often than not. But with Stasis being relegated to the most dedicated users and explorers of what it can offer, we've got a good window of time right now to try new things, to get a little closer and start seeing what we've missed out due to the overbearing power that Stasis was. And I'm putting Riiswalker at the very top of that list. It's fun to use, makes you move faster, has some rather incredible perks, and has a killer aesthetic to boot. Since you're going to need to Iron Banner for Pinnacles anyway, and for Occluded Finality, which is nuts by the way, or even chase a Finite Impactor which feels really good with Iron Grip, you should absolutely turn in your tokens and hope for a Riiswalker. And for that, I give this gun 9.5 Jaffa Cakes out of 10. Easiest recommendation of my short career here so far.